There you go. The nice lady lets you know that I'm recording you.
She does.
All right. You ready?
I am, and I
All
will
right.
do my best to be on my best behavior. Sorry if I'm looking down. I'm trying to open up Letterboxd as well, so I can hop back between.
I get it.
You know,
No,
which
I
Letterboxd is just the best. I mean, is it not?
letterbox.
Oh my
I have
god!
like when I'm doing like my other podcasts, I hop between like letterboxed and then I hop between because I have some like my reviews on there and like my diary like on there, right? It shows you
Mhm.
what you've seen, and then I'm hopping between Google Docs and like my notes on my iPhone to see if like if there was anything else. I'm constantly doing that, so it's however you keep notes. Oh, all right, so 3, 2, 1. Hey, Film Vaulters! Hey, Film Vaulters! Welcome to the Film Vaulters. I'm Mitch Burns. I'm your host this week. I am here with listener of the Film Vault, Alex Simpson. Alex, how are you?
Good, good. How's it going?
Good, Alex. We've just been chatting for like half an hour. It's been great. You would have loved the conversation. We were chill. We were talking about our lives, what we were doing today, why I'm a little sunburnt. Um, and he looks Alex. If you can watch this on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see Alex's amazing assortment of books behind him, uh, which I'm sure you've read all of them, right, Alex?
It's my wife's office. So she's
You,
read all of these books. Yes.
and do you read?
I listen to audiobooks. I
Me
can't
too.
read anything.
Yeah, me
I just
too.
listen to audiobooks and podcasts. That's it.
Yep. No, I'm right there with you. I wonder if it's podcasts that ruin reading for me because once I started listening to podcasts, I was like, well, I can listen to books this way, and it just kind of happened. So,
Yeah, I had in college. I had a Game of Thrones class
oh,
where we needed to read all of the. It's actually like a Song of Ice and Fire class.
mm,
We needed to read all of the books, but it was really short. So it was six. I think it was only 12 weeks. I was like,
okay,
"There's no way I could read this much." So I read
yeah,
as much as I could, and like anytime in traffic, I would like listen to a book, and I'm like,
yeah,
"Oh my gosh, this made traffic great!" Like I do not mind driving 30 minutes if I'm getting Roy Dotrice in my ear telling me
yeah,
about what's going on with Tyrion. Like I'm like, "This is fantastic." So
yeah,
then I was like, "Oh, maybe." And I think I discovered podcasts shortly after that. I was like, "Oh,
yeah.
cool. Like it's the same thing, but just people talking about things I like." So
That would be a really sick class. That's
it's
really
very
cool.
fun. And I hadn't watched any of the show either. I was like, "Oh,
Hmm.
cool. Like this will get me into everything."
Yeah.
So I was like, it was already at like the peak of its fandom at that point.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so it
Yeah.
was great to hop in and like really just get a crash course on everything and just
Yeah.
come in and be just I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know all of this now." Like I love it. It's great.
I haven't read the books, but I would like to do the audiobook someday. And I didn't start watching the show until the second last season had ended. So
Mm,
I like binged it all, and then I was ready for the final season, which was, a little disappointing, but still not terrible. You know,
yeah,
could have been worse.
I guess. It was fine. It's one of those things where I was like, "Oh, man." Like, you
Yeah,
had it. Yeah, I was in. I was on board the
yeah,
whole time, and, like,
yeah.
this kinda
I know.
went out with a whimper. Whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm.
It was
It's one of the biggest disappointments on TV for me.
yeah,
Like it was just still so well done, but just like so incredibly rushed. And I think like we all just saw the possibilities that like what could have been, you know, if they had just went a couple more seasons and kind of worked out what they crammed into one. Ugh,
yeah.
so frustrating. Now I'm getting frustrated. Thanks, Alex. No, I'm just kidding.
Mhm.
As
I'm here for it.
always, my guest picks a topic that the Film Fault podcast has done over its 20-year tenure. And today, Alex has chosen top five disguises, which we will be doing later in the show. But first, as always, I have some questions so we can get to know this film vaulter a little bit more. Um, first of all, I don't have these ones written. I have some questions written down that I my regular ones, but Alex Simpson, the name has come up on the show before. Have you been a decider or
No, I've assigned them
you've
stuff.
assigned them? What movies did you assign them?
Oh shit! What the movies did I assign them?
Because I know you've assigned them a couple. I swear it was either you either
Yeah.
decided a topic or you assigned them, and I was trying to remember what it
Oh man,
was.
I was trying to keep this episode clean too, but I assigned them Shithouse. I think
Shithouse, okay.
was it? Yeah, Shithouse.
Oh, oh,
I couldn't remember if it was Shithouse or Cha Cha Real Smooth. I know it was one or the other. It was
mhm.
around the same time. I'm like, hey, you should watch this now because he's got another one coming out in like a month, so it'll be perfect
Yeah.
timing. Um, and that was like what? That was probably I think June 2022. Yeah, because I was
Yeah.
in Chicago when I like talked to him about it, which
Hmm.
was very weird because I was in there for I was doing like I was had a live show for another movie podcast and I was like,
Oh,
ah,
wow.
this is a very film heavy weekend for me. But
Okay.
and then what else? Oh well, technically, I got so annoyed with Anderson saying that he's not going to see The Fablemans. I'm like, that movie rules. It's awesome. You should watch it. It's a lot of fun. There's editing in the middle is great. Like there's just this scene
Yeah.
when he's, the him editing the camping footage with
Yeah.
the cross cutting between Paul Dano listening to
Yeah.
the Michelle Williams. Oh my god, it's incredible. Like
Yeah.
it's worth the 2 hours and 20 minutes alone. I just saw that in the cruise. It's like
Yeah.
when I was in Alaska too. I was like, oh, Fablemans is playing here. Screw it. It's like 11 o'clock. I'll go watch it. I'm not doing anything else.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah,
But I
Alex
think
and I were supposed to record like a month ago, and then I bailed at the last second because it's what I do. And then I said, "Well, how about next week?" And he said, "Oh, I'd love to, but I'll be in Alaska." And I said, "Well, that's a good excuse." So you texted me some pictures. You were showing me some pictures. It looked amazing. Like I said, it looked like a screensaver photo you'd have on your computer. Just beautiful. So I'm so jealous.
yeah, it was a good time. It was expensive, and every month when I'm paying the credit card bill down, I'm like, oh yes, that
Right.
is one that is 1/5 of the kayaking trip or whatever. But hopefully, I will have the memories longer than I have the bill for it. That's
Yeah.
my goal. As long as I can remember past my last payment, I'll be happy.
Yeah. And was it a cruise like through Alaska then?
Yeah, so we went up a week before.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit a week before we did like a kayak through the glacier. That's the picture I sent you.
Yes. Yes.
We did like a tour around, like a little train tour. I was telling you too, with a little
Yeah.
rickety train that took you up a mountain. Did like a couple glacier hikes and like
Yeah.
a little float plane thing, which was really cool.
Oh, that's
And then
awesome.
then we hopped on a cruise, which was like I think 8 days, which is far too long to be on a boat like that. But
Yeah.
it was a great time, and the view like it was you just look out and you're like, oh yes, there's a glacier out
That's
there, and there's
so
these mountains out there, and it's incredible. We saw bears, we saw like the whales. It's like a bubble net feeding. It was like a pod of like 6 or 7 of them after kayaking. It was crazy. So
wow.
it's very fun. Yeah.
Wow. And now as an American, did you feel like you were like still in America? Because I know Alaska is technically the United States. So did you feel like you were still in America in any way?
So it kind of felt we went to Yosemite in November, this
Mm.
past November for like a couple like 5 days, and we did like
Yeah.
some sequoia trees. It felt very similar there, just in the sense of, hey, this is
Yeah.
people on this land, and they're gonna do their stuff here, and everything else is gonna be a little crazy. So we
Yeah.
just got to deal with it. Like everything else is a little wild,
Yeah.
um, but it felt a little off. Like
Mm.
it wasn't just, yeah. Alaska's a strange place.
Mm. That's cool. I'd love to go up there someday, but I mean, I've barely explored Canada as it is. So,
And then we had like a 12-hour layover. We got off the boat in Vancouver. So yeah, then we hopped on the boat in Seward, and then it was all through Alaska.
Seward, yeah.
It was a rainy day in Juneau, so we spent 3 hours like, hiking around, doing stuff. A couple
Yeah.
of us got sick, and then I'm like, "Oh, screw it! I'm going to go see Oppenheimer." So
Oh yeah.
my wife, father-in-law, and myself took like a cab. It was like a $90 round trip cab,
Yeah.
like 30 minutes both ways. It was great.
And you like and you
It was
liked
so
it.
much fun. And it was, yeah, I love the movie. I think it was fantastic. I was
Yeah.
not bored.
Yeah.
I was a little anxious, mainly because I was frustrated afterwards because I was so anxious that we weren't going to be able to get the cab returning back because the movie started at like 3:25. It was in this little tiny penny theater, not a penny theater, but it was a small little
Yeah.
theater, the only one in Anchorage. I'm sorry, only one in Juneau that was open and playing new movies. And it
Yeah.
was it was Barbie, Oppenheimer, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning,
Yeah.
and the other old man movie, Indiana Jones, and then something else. But and and it was sold out every showing. There's a line at the door. All of the people working there were wearing like the little monkey grinder outfits with the little vest and the little bow tie. It was
Wow.
hilarious. I loved it.
Wow. What an experience. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was so
And
much fun.
it feels so weird to say, like, like you go on holiday and then you go see a movie, right? It almost feels like I'm wasting my holiday seeing a movie, but
Well,
like
that's yeah.
you'll
It's
never
always
forget.
Yeah, well, it was one of those things where it was a perfect thing because I was
Yeah.
telling them, I was like, "Well, it's super lame. We're going on this trip, Barbenheimer weekend. I mean, come on, I can't join on any of the discourse online. I can't listen to the show. Like, I just wanted,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna miss that, which is a joke. I was,
Yeah.
but B, it was like a little. It was just kind of fun, and then it was perfect situation where okay, no one's feeling good. It's raining like hell,
Yeah.
so like we walked around, we did a little hike, and then half the people just went back on the boat. And well, I'm not gonna go back on the boat. I'll throw $100 down to go see a movie when where I could go see this for $10 in like a
Yeah.
week.
I could
Um,
wait 2 weeks or a week and a half and go see
yeah,
it. Yeah, but I get it
so
because you'll never forget that experience, though, right? We were in Alaska and we went and saw
yeah.
Oppenheimer, right?
And then when we were in Vancouver for 12 hours when we got back. We hopped
Oh
off, and our
yeah.
flight was at midnight out of Vancouver back to Jacksonville.
Hmm.
So we were like, "Well, what are we gonna do?" And we're all just dead tired. We're like, "We've been on this 13 or 12." They were there for a little longer than us, so they were there for like 15 days. We were there for like 12, and then like they're all coming down, like they're kind of a little sick, just not feeling good. And then we're like, well, let's go see Barbie. So we saw Barbie in Vancouver, which that was slammed on a Friday at like 4 p.m. It was incredible. Like it was
Uh,
packed to the gills. It was great.
yeah. Vancouver, what do they think about your American money? Or did you have
So they were cool with it.
Yeah.
I went, so it was funny. I bought the tickets for the movie because none of our phones were working. I can't remember why. Oh, the internet was terrible. So I'm like, I'll just walk and buy tickets. So I
Yep.
walked. I bought tickets. I had a beer at the bar next door, and I was talking
Yeah.
to the bartender. And he goes, "Oh my gosh, it's been fantastic. The business has just been fantastic for us.
Yeah.
Barbie, Oppenheimer, everything. It was just, we're
Yeah.
doing like triple business just by
Yeah.
people going to the movie theater next door."
Yeah.
Um, I remember asking, I was like, "Hey, is this like, do you care about this money?" He goes, "Hey, dude, it all pays the same. Just give me,
Yeah.
please give
Yeah.
it."
Yeah.
So
Did they do the exchange rate? Because some Canadian places will just say, "Yeah, we'll take it," but it's like at our rate. We're not. So I
I
don't know.
I just gave him like a 10 and like just keep the
Keep the
change as
change.
a
Yeah.
tip.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know if I gave the man the smallest tip ever because this mother like, or if he's like, oh my god, what a gentleman, he gave me like
Probably
30% on the
pocketed.
beer.
Yeah.
But hey, he was nice. I talked to him for like 10 minutes, so he
That's
deserved it.
good. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You live in Jacksonville. You live or
Yeah,
near Jacksonville.
Jackson, Florida. Yeah.
Yep.
So
And
right
what do you?
there, at the northeast tip, right, 15 minutes away from the beach.
Nice.
So it is hot and steamy and not. Oh God, do not come. This is too hot. It's gotten too hot. The earth is too hot. This is too hot down here. I gotta leave.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. And how do you like Florida?
it's fine. I don't pay any
Morning.
state. I don't pay any state taxes, so that's great.
That's awesome.
But I mean, and I'm 3 hours from Disney, which is fantastic.
That's cool. That's
So
awesome.
and I'm a Jags fan, big Jaguars fan.
Yep.
That is about this is where my Florida pride is. That's it.
That's good.
Don't have to pay state taxes, close to Disney, and my favorite NFL team is here for now.
Perfect. What can you? What more can you ask for?
Yeah.
So let's get into some movie stuff. What are your favorite movies or directors or genres? What do you go for?
I mean, so my like letterbox top four right now is weird because it's Manchester by the Sea, which
Oh,
I think
masterpiece.
it's great, but it's also so funny.
Yeah.
I love how just darkly funny it is throughout the whole thing, and it's obviously not the first when I say, "Oh, I love it," it's hilarious. People are like that's the wrong thing. So I'm like, yeah, well, it makes me cry, and then 3 seconds later, I'm laughing because they're discussing who's going to be eaten by a shark or something. It's great. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
it. And I need to watch Margaret, which he did Kenneth Lonergan did before, and there was like this whole weird thing about it.
Oh.
Um, there's Anna Paquin, and I think Matt Damon's got a supporting role in there.
Okay.
It was like bungled upon release, and then like there's like a director's cut that's like 3 hours long. It was just my barrier to
Oh.
entry. That's why I'm like, it's a little long, so I don't know.
Oh. I'm gonna add that to
But
my watch
I
list right now.
I'd like to watch that at some point. But and then yeah, so Manchester by the Sea, like The Apartment, Billy Wilder, The Apartment.
Yes.
That's like one I've caught up with recently within the last I think 2 to 3 years, and just delightful. You can watch that any day of the week. And then like Dunkirk, that's another top
Dunkirk.
on my letterbox top four. And
Yeah.
then I think what the I can't remember the it's the sorcerer. I think with
Oh,
Billy Deacon. That's another one
Billy
I've been
Freakin.
seeing.
Yeah. Rest in
That,
peace. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's
That's
Fears and Desire, which I was kind of conflating the two with. But that's another one that
okay.
I'm like, that just rules, man. It's so much. It's edge of your seat kind of stuff. It's great.
Yeah. No, I agree. So would you say that Dunkirk's your favorite Nolan piece then?
I mean, so Dark Knight was also on like I mean, listen,
Yeah.
I saw Dark Knight in IMAX when I was like, you know, 13,
Yeah. Yeah.
skipping school on Thursday with my dad. It was incredible. So
That's awesome.
that is, a pretty I can't,
It's really hard to
yeah.
beat
But also,
that
it's
one.
I like. I mean, yeah, yeah, it's tough. I
Yeah.
think Oppenheimer's pretty great too. I mean,
Yep.
it's not. I'd like
Agree.
to watch it a couple more times. I've seen the Trinity sequence 3 times just on pure luck after leaving a theater and like walking around. Like
Oh,
one time I just
nice.
heard the countdown and I was like 14. Like, oh God, I got 13 seconds to get in there and I can see this shit explode. Let's go. It's great.
Yeah.
Um,
Actually, funny story. I kept hearing people say like, "Oh, like people are going to be able to hear Oppenheimer while they're in Barbie." Well, I took my mom and her friend and my friend to see Barbie for the second time. We were right next to Oppenheimer, and of course, I heard the explosion, and I like shook my friend, and I'm like, "Oh my God, that's Oppenheimer!" And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Listen." And they're like listening, and yeah, you could hear the explosion. It was great.
that's
I
awesome.
got that pure Barbenheimer experience. So
That's awesome. Yeah, I've
yeah.
only seen Barbie once. So I want to rewatch it because I was way too focused in on the plot, trying to like say, okay, am I?
Yeah.
Where's it going? Am I gonna stay on board with this? I'm sure I've missed so many of just the dumb throwaway jokes that
Yeah.
that you get on the rewatches. So I'm excited.
It just hit me so perfectly. It's my
Because
number
you're like a huge fan of Barbie, right?
huge man,
Okay.
I hit me. It just I the first show like I went in arms crossed like no I'm not gonna like this, and I let it wash over me, man. It hit me the right way, and I saw it again, and I picked up on other jokes, and I got to watch my friends laugh and cry, and so no, I really loved it. I I I should be I feel like I should be embarrassed, but I'm not. I just think it's really great filmmaking, and I'm really happy for everyone involved. So
Oh yeah, I'm so happy that it's just crushing it. It's gonna
yeah,
make, like
me too.
1.3 or 1.4 billion, whatever
Yeah,
it's gonna do. I'm so excited. I think that's
yeah,
hilarious. I think that's awesome.
yeah.
I love the one of the worst things that and not really, but the thing that happened to me personally in COVID was the disaster of the box office. Following and
Oh
tracking that
no,
was so much fun.
I
I think I
know.
just love the
Yeah,
financials of everything,
yeah.
um, and seeing how things are going, and I'm like it's starting to ramp up again, and I'm getting
Hmm.
caught back up into it. Like, oh, this is a lot of fun tracking and trying to project things. So it's
I
stupid and pointless, but for some reason I
yeah.
love it.
Over COVID, I got into it. Like, I mean, I was kind of, I would always watch. Oh, okay, blah blah blah. I had to stop listening because it just got too depressing.
It was so sad.
Because
Exactly.
yeah,
It was like, oh, this is number one. It made $8 this week. I'm like, I can't do it. This makes me sad.
there
I
was
want to
it
go
just
home.
there was a pit in my stomach thinking like, okay, we're never gonna recover from this. AMC's
Mhm.
shutting its doors, blah blah blah. Like, like you just heard all these rumors and yeah. Anyways, um, how long have you been listening to the Film Vault? I think we were kind of talking about this before. You said during your
Yeah. So it was actually the first episode I listened to was top 5 actors cursed by good looks.
hmm,
Yeah, which I think
okay,
was like September something
yeah,
2016. Which they just
2016.
said on like a recent episode. They're like, we did this recently. I'm like, no, you guys did this like 8 years ago, 7 years ago. This is the first episode I ever listened to. Which I don't know why I literally I think I was on Twitter, and a friend of mine from high school tweeted something out about, like, the podcast app that Apple had, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's what that is."
Oh, yes, I saw. I think I saw that tweet. Did they tag TFV or something?
No, but,
Oh, never mind.
um
I'm crazy.
but and then I went on there and I kind of just discovered the show, and I like looked up. I'm like, what are my interests? Because I clicked on like the podcast. I'm like, that's what that app is. It's a podcast.
Yes.
I was so dumb. I never discovered it, and I looked up film. That was the first. The film vault was the first thing that came
Yeah.
up, and I was like, all right, let me listen to this. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, these guys are fun, and it
Yeah.
stuck for 7+ years.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, and a memorable film vault moment for you. Is anything that sticks in your brain as a moment that even if it was just talking to Anderson about cha or not cha cha, but shithouse.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so started listening like that September 2016 time, and I was like, oh well, they've got shows from way back when. So then during that, I did the reverse listen, and
Me too. Yeah.
I got to the Mo part, like would you listen to that whole saga? And I was
Yes.
so confused because I was starting listening to the After Disaster, and they would talk about it, and they talk about his other show. I'm like, how did
Yeah.
that come about? So that is for like a couple days. I'm like, wait, what's going on here? And then I got my timelines mixed up. I'm like, wait, are they ending the show? So that was fun listening to that and emailing
Yeah.
him back and forth about that. Like how trippy that was pretty fun.
I bet. Yeah, I remember that, and it's funny because I don't even the Mo thing has kind of become big since, but I was so stressed by the fight, like listening when it was happening, that I don't remember the Mo thing. And then it became a joke later, and it's funny now. But God, I just remember listening, and like Anderson was just like, "Oh, like, would you listen, Mo?" And I was, It's
Yeah, it
great.
was
It's
really so
great.
I think I listened to the After Disaster episode, like, after that, like, he was
Okay.
post-recording, and I was like, "Wait, why is he so upset?" I'm like, "Wait," I was, like, so thrown off my timelines because I was, like, listening to 3 different timelines. Because at one point, I
Yeah.
got, like, super into the AD where I'm like, I'm just gonna listen to this."
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
I basically I listened to 3 podcasts. Like, when I first started listening, I listened to The After Disaster, I listened to Film Vault, and listened to Bill Burr. Those were the 3 that I would listen
Yeah.
to. And now
Good
I've got,
three.
like though I got AD, Film Vault, and, like, a couple other movie shows that
Yeah.
I'm like I like get into a groove on,
Same.
um but yeah, I was, like, so thrown off of the timeline. I'm like, "Oh god," now I'm like, "Wait, did they, like, stop doing a show at some point?" So, like, I had to
That's
go
funny.
back and, like, listen. It was very weird.
And someone has to send me that after disaster episode, Geo, if you are listening or something, because I've never listened to the after disaster, but maybe that would be a good episode for me to start on. Oh, but it's behind a paywall now. I think you got to pay to
Yeah,
listen, right? That's
yeah.
fine. I don't mind throwing them like $5 or whatever.
There's an episode with Avery that's great, you should listen to.
Is there? I didn't know Avery hopped on there. That'll be fun. Okay. All right. I should do my duty as like whatever my role is. So do you find your
This
movie
resident fan. That's what you're
what's
you
that?
you're resident fan
Resident fan.
and
Groupie.
conglomerator. I don't that's not a
Yeah.
word, but,
I
yeah.
think it's a word. I don't know.
Tabulator, but that's not it doesn't use something better than that.
Tabulator. Well, I know like I remember emailing Geo or messaging Geo for the first time when I'm like, "Hey man," like and we were talking, I'm like, "So what do you do for the show?" And he's like, "Honestly, just call me resident emailer." And I was like, "Okay, I can do that." So, yeah, no. Do your movie tastes align more with Brian or Anderson if you had to put money down, who do you think let's
God, so,
say let's
so
say
Jim in America is rules so hard. I didn't think I'd like it that much, and I watched, like, 3 times one night. But then, Anderson just says some dumb stuff about, you know, half the no, I'm kidding. But he'll say something like, "Oh, well, I'm anti that school of, like," I think his comedies, like, his, like, things he
yes.
doesn't find funny. I'm like, "Well,
Yes.
no, I don't."
No, I get
I
it.
mean, I'm the Brian Fun scale. That's
Yes.
another, as in for me, another solid way of kind of going with it. What movie do I want to watch right now? I'm like, all right, fun scale 1 to 8, 1 to
Mhm.
10. It's an 8. Like
Yeah.
that's my range right now. Like Mission Impossible movies, very high in the fun scale, all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
agree.
there's a recent franchise Aaliyah and I just accomplished.
Nice.
It's great. And we just have it a ball
I
throughout.
I like that Brian's talking about the fun scale thing a lot more because I think it's something that movie critics and everything, it's something we all need to discuss more and realize more. It's sometimes that's all you need is the fucking fun scale, right? Like,
Yeah,
but,
listen,
yeah,
give me Transformers, like give me
yeah,
transforming robots in a gorilla, like give me that, like, but way
yeah.
more gorilla. I need like 100% more
Me
gorilla,
too. Me too.
more animals, like it's
More
fine.
Rhino.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, don't
Okay.
give me I do not want a 30-second like
Yeah.
plea of like, oh wait, oh my gosh, you're sacrificing, like don't do that. No, no, no.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
give me rhinos hitting other and like other transforming robots. It's incredible.
Exactly.
Stop the stop the drama, please. That's not what we're
Yes.
here for.
Um, do you mind if we take just a little break? I gotta run to the bathroom really quick.
No, yeah, that's great.
Okay. I just gotta pee. We'll be right back. Okay.
All right.
Hold on, bud. I'm back. So
What's
sorry.
No, you're good. It's gave me some time to look over my list and other things. So
You know what? The one thing I didn't do is grab a beer. Hold on. Hold on. Last time. Okay. Top five time.
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Wait,
Okay.
before we hop into top five,
Yep.
I mean it's nothing. What's your beef with Blue Beetle, man? It's fine. Come on. It's like so harmless. I'm sad that you said your kid didn't like it. Or was like bored because I was like halfway through I'm like, all right, listen, if I was like 12, I think I'd love this movie. Like I think I'd be super into it.
So he's 6 and he's almost 7, and he's not your typical, you know. I don't want to say this because it's whatever he wants to be, but he's not your typical boy in the sense where like a 7, 8 year old boy might love that kind of thing, but he loves like Trolls and Frozen and more stuff like that.
Frozen rules. Frozen
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, I agree, but that's
Trolls
just
is
more
terrible,
his.
but Trolls is fun. High on the fun
He
scale.
exactly. So yeah, he was more interested in the family stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah, and then like him, Hame, how do you say his name? It's like Jamie, but
Jaime?
Hame.
Jaime.
Yeah, Hame. And he was more interested in him and the girl and if they were gonna get together or not. And the one point he leans over, they like when they almost kissed, and he's like, "Oh, I know what's gonna happen now." And then they didn't kiss, and because Uncle Rudy walked in,
Yeah.
and the look of shock on my son's face that they didn't kiss. Like it's like the first time
That's
he's ever
not
been betrayed by, like, you know what I mean, like that
yeah,
almost kiss
sweet.
moment that's in
Oh,
every movie. So that was it was really cute, but I just
yeah.
I know I'm sorry. I you
It's
know what
fine. I mean,
he was.
it's the movie is fine. And I was like, so I went and saw it in like the 4DX. Have you ever done that?
Whoa,
Which
no,
that is bananas. Do not
really?
see any movie in that. It is insane. It is like any. You mentioned you've been to Florida a couple times. Did you come down to
Yes,
Disney at all? Did
yes,
you do any?
yes,
Okay. Did
yeah.
you do Star Tours? Is that that's the Star Wars? I don't know what year you came, so I'm trying to.
No,
Uh,
but I did some of those like 4D
the
theaters.
Man, those so it was like it's kind of like that, and but it's calibrated. So unlike the Cinemark or any other like the experience where it's like the vibrating seats or whatever, those are crazy enough, but you can kind of calibrate those. But this is calibrated for all four seats. And
Mm.
I'm seeing Blue Beetle at 2 o'clock on a Friday. I'm the only one in this theater. So it's calibrated for four adult humans on there, and it's just me. So it's whipping me around like
Oh my
crazy.
God.
It is a very active experience. You gotta like brace yourself. Like anytime I'm like sensing like there's gonna be some action here. I gotta like focus up and like you know. So it is not the way to watch a movie for the first time. Maybe you can get stoned and watch like Spider-Verse or something after. Like
Mm.
that is your second viewing. That is how I viewed Spider-Verse the second time. I
Yeah,
highly recommend that,
I
but
bet.
not Blue Beetle at 2 o'clock on. But it felt so harmless. I was like, oh, this like it looked good. Like I like the family stuff. I think they nailed. There's a couple. Like I think they nailed in the sense of like I didn't hate any one of those characters. I
I
didn't hate.
hated Uncle Rudy.
I was fine with Uncle Rudy.
Ah, George
I don't.
Lopez. Fuck off.
so he was just doing the George Lopez thing, and
Yeah,
so
I
I
know.
kind of just like George. I like George Lopez as a person, so I'm like, damn, I'm sure he's having a fun time with these people. I didn't hate him, you know.
Yeah,
But if you hate George Lopez, if especially if you don't like him here, he's like the driving, not the driving force, but he's like pretty. He's the
yeah.
comedic chunk of the second half of the
Yeah,
movie.
and the heart. He's kind of the heart of it at parts, right? Like,
Did
and
you love
he's
letting just kill it? Like he's just I know it was just straight spoiling Blue Beetle, sorry, but straight up stabbing people with the little bug. That was fun.
yes,
That was the one time I laughed because throughout the whole
yeah,
movie, he's like, "We're not gonna kill anybody," and like, man, you're saying we're not killing anybody, but like, oh, like so many people could die by just flipping through the air like this.
yeah, yeah.
Like, oh, I would have
It
killed for a
just
line like something like that, but I don't know.
it was too milk toast for me. I actually went back down and I lowered my reviews of Black
Oh,
Adam and Shazam 2 as well because I they're just all to me they're all in a vacuum and I'm kind of done and I will just wait and see what James Gunn and Peter Safran do with the rest of the franchise and if they can bring me
yeah,
back
yeah.
in. I don't know. I'm sorry. Like to me it wasn't even high on the fun scale. It just all felt like kind of done
Yeah,
before
I mean, I
and
gave it like it's like it is a 3 pat. I'm a big DC guy anyway.
oh, okay.
Which but I like so I'm a DC guy in the sense of like I grew up on like just all the like Justice League cartoons, like the
Wow.
'90s cartoons
Oh,
and
really?
Man, the Batman, all those. I can't remember who's like drew them, but like whatever the animation, like the Bruce Timm animation, that's probably wrong. Sorry, Gio, I don't know. He hates them anyway, so um, I'm like, oh yeah, those characters are super fun. I like that. Like those are
Yep.
uh, my people. So I
But
like
halfway
Batman.
through, yeah, halfway through, I was like, why aren't we getting a Green Lantern movie instead of this? Why are we getting this and not like a better Green Lantern or that Martian guy at the end of Justice League? What's his name?
Martian
Uh,
Manhunter. See, I don't know how you're gonna make a movie. I mean, I'm sure you could make a cool movie out of him, but he's so
yeah,
weird. Like he's mainly in like an ensemble, but yeah, I mean a Green Lantern movie, like a good
yeah.
one. Like,
Like
but
why?
yeah,
Like
I'm
I don't know.
super excited for the whole James Gunn Peter Safran thing because
Yeah.
I I adore the Suicide Squad. That one almost made my list today. It's top five disguises. It did not. So
Oh my
spoilers
God. It
if I'm stepping on yours,
it
but
was this close to making it if we are talking about the same disguise.
I'm sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. Yeah, it's pretty close. I mean, it's a good one.
Amazing. Shut
Uh,
up. That is so funny. I
yeah.
can't believe because like that like I literally took it off because yeah, anyway, well,
And I was
anyways,
like, it's
that's
not
so funny.
as it was like it's more of a joke than an actual disguise. I'm like I'm like it's a clever pick. I'm like, but it
I
was close.
have I have my King Sharp Funko up there and
That's fine.
I have most of the Suicide Squad up there.
Yeah,
I
that
yeah.
movie's so good, and
So
he
good.
hasn't made a bad. He does these.
James Gunn has barely made a bad movie. Have you seen
Yeah.
Slither?
I have not seen Slither. That's the only one I haven't seen, or
Oh
I think that's the
man.
only one I haven't seen because I'm like, it might be too gross for me to enjoy it.
Oh, problem. If you
So
have an issue with that, but I am a
I
little
don't.
disappointed in you.
Yeah, well, I saw. I mean, I
Just
just
kidding.
watched Super recently,
Yeah,
and then
me.
so
Yeah.
when we were watching Guardians 3, and it was like the organic planet, and they're cutting through, and like there's all this
Oh,
pus. I'm like, oh, cool. Like that's the James Gunn vibe. I'm like that's the reason I don't want to see Slither because it's gonna be just all prosthetics and gross and
yeah, it is, and
well,
I love that shit. So
yeah, yeah. I'm not super anti, but it's not something that gets me like
yeah,
I'm not excited for it.
yeah. Well, I'll come down there sometime, and we'll watch it together,
Okay,
and
so
we'll pop it in. All right. What drew you to this top five? I sent you an entire list of every topic that the Film Vault has done over its 20 years, many different topics, and you hemmed and hawed. You wanted feel good movies for a while. You wanted good scenes in bad movies. That's what you were thinking about, and then you decided on disguises. Is there a reason, or just kind of
there is a reason, and it was perfect timing with the last time this was would have when the show originally was supposed to be recorded
Hmm.
about a month ago, and it
Hmm.
dovetails perfectly into my number five. So
Okay.
if I could
Okay.
just kick things off, I will kick things off with my number five of all of the Mission Impossible disguises, all of them. All right,
Right.
this is this is my number five, just because there's so many of them, it's almost impossible to pick. But the first one, when he's dressed up as Kittredge, is great. And then or it's, I think, is it Rogue Nation? I had it all written down, and then I lost everything. But I think it's Rogue Nation when it's the Kremlin one, the Kremlin scene,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it isn't a full on mask or a prosthetic. It is more just like a nose thing,
Hmm.
and he's like acting differently to get through security. That will be my honorary number five. But all of the
Okay.
Mission Impossible, and especially the one, the Dead Reckoning, which it's sad is now just completely collapsed at the box office, um, with
Yeah.
the poor timing of its release. I will say,
Mhm. Yeah.
but
It is. I have been following that, and it is good. I think it's doing better than Indiana Jones. It's just we know these um their budgets are just so big, and their marketing
yeah,
budgets
it
were
is.
huge.
Like they could have easily squeezed like another. Granted, I know absolutely nothing other than these stupid people on these forums. But if they would have released it a different time, like a week,
Yeah.
2, 3 weeks before, when there's nothing, or even
Wait till November, like like if they just
yeah,
waited until. But the good thing is though we're not waiting on the on this movie to do good to get a second
yeah,
one.
yeah.
We
That
are
is my
That's
yeah,
the good thing is we are no matter what we're getting a sequel to this, and even if it's the last one, that's hopefully it's good. I don't know. Anyways,
yeah. I mean,
no,
this one, last one was great. In the disguise, and it
it was
was
great.
I loved when Haley Atwell's character transforms into Vanessa Kirby, and you can just clearly see Vanessa Kirby doing a
Yes,
mirror impression of
yes.
Haley Atwell's character through the whole thing, and it's great. It's so
You know what?
fantastic.
Sorry, you know what it reminded me of is Helena Bonham Carter in playing Bellatrix Lestrange in the Deathly Hallows Part One, I think.
You're getting dangerously close to something,
Oh, I'm
that
so sorry. I'm so
would
sorry.
have been on the list. I mean, it isn't, but I'm like,
Yeah.
that I mean, that's but that's a great scene. Exactly. Like
Yes.
I mean, we're counting polyjuice as disguises, because I'd say, I mean,
Yeah, I might have almost had that one on my list too. Anyways, okay. I will. I usually start,
I
so
know. I just I had to
no, it's
steamroll.
good.
Sorry.
We got to shake it up every once in a while. It's fine. Um, I just wanted to say the topic was originally done May 16th, 2019. And then the movies talked about on that episode were 7852, Hitchcock's shower scene, and one of my favorite movies, Calvary, was talked about that on that episode, and The Endless and Columbus.
It's
So
the Endless is it's a Justin Benson, and the other
yeah,
guy's name, who I can't remember, and I feel bad.
and and then
Uh,
he just did the
Synchronic, which I think that
synchronic.
movie was super. I watched it a couple years ago. I think in beginning of COVID, and I was like, this totally rules. And when they were talking about it, I completely forgot half the thing. They mentioned like a brain cancer thing. I'm like, oh, really? I do not remember a brain cancer angle in that movie whatsoever.
We're
I did
getting
have a good
old.
time.
No, I'm really glad you had Mission Impossible. I'm glad it was represented. I do not. I left it off. Probably because we were just so around that time, the Mission Impossible time. My number five, all of mine are a little different. I'm really happy with my list because it's just a little different. But my number five is an animated list. Is an animated movie. Um, and these are two little hold on. I have what they are up here. Hold on. Um They are two shape-shifting imps who are minions of Hades and provide comic relief in the 1997 animated Disney movie Hercules, which I was 7 years old when that movie came out, and I absolutely loved it. And my characters are Pain and Panic, and
Pain. Okay. I was
they're
trying to think. I'm like Pain, and what's the other guy's name? Like
yeah,
it's not Torture. Panic. Okay.
and
I just
they
watched it recently. Again, I love Hercules. It was one
me
of mine
too.
growing up. Just phenomenal.
Me too. Such a great story. Such a great story for a young guy to watch. Like and about finding your own and being strong and all that jazz. And Pain and Panic were just so funny. And there's at least 3 or 4 times where they transform themselves or more. Like they're snakes at one point and blah blah. But the time I'm talking about is when they run out to Hercules and they're pretending to be these two little kids. And they're like,
Mm.
"Oh, hi. Oh my gosh, there's something that way. You gotta go. You gotta go behind that rock. Someone's trapped back there." And then and Hercules runs, and then we see the two run behind another a boulder, and then they transform back into Pain and Panic, and they lead Hercules right to the three-headed Hydra, which he has a fight with, um, and that Hades wants him to kill him basically. But anyway, so I had to go with them. They're shapeshifters, but just two really great characters in a movie already filled with great characters like Danny DeVito as Phil and all that stuff. So
Yeah, Danny DeVito is perfect as
he
Phil.
was, he
Yeah,
was
I do love
definitely
'cause it was gosh, Bobcat Goldthwait and who else? Who's
like
the other
I honestly didn't
actor?
even look it up.
Oh, goodness.
Voice actor Bobcat Goldthwait and Matt
Matt
Frewer.
Frewer. Okay, did you ever? He's
I don't
Max
know him.
Headroom.
Oh,
He's also in. Uh, he is one of the cancer patients with Joseph Gordon-Levitt in 50-50. Like he's smoking weed with him at the
oh,
end. But yeah, he plays Max. He's like the Max Headroom guy.
okay, all right.
He's a nobody. Like there's not. He's like a character actor, but he's like were those Pepsi commercials or
Huh. Yeah, I didn't know him. Max Headroom, Lawnmower Man. Interesting. Interesting. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Yeah,
yes,
no,
tall white guy with no hair,
yeah,
big ears.
that's funny. No, I love that movie, and I had a
Yeah,
crush
Hercules is
on,
awesome. Yeah,
yeah,
the whole Clements, Ron Clements, John Musker. There's like the three because they did what Little Mermaid before, and then or Great Mouse Detective before, and
Great
then
Mouse Detective. Yeah.
yeah, those were just staples in my
Yeah,
house. I freaking wore those tapes down. And Aladdin, oh
Aladdin. Yeah, is that what he did? John Musker, or are you talking about Ron Clements?
their
Yeah, Ron
director team,
Clements. They are. They
Musker and
always
Clements.
were.
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't know that. Interesting. You're teaching me things today. But no, and I love the music in this movie. I had a crush on Meg, growing up. So yeah. So, anyways, if you haven't seen that, show your kids or watch it yourself. It's got great music. So, your number four, sir.
my number four. Oh my God, that's perfect. I perfect dovetail into my number four, which is another one which was just played on repeat in my house in
Yeah,
1998. Made my parents watch this. Mulan, her
Mulan.
disguising herself as the male of the family. I don't know if that's a disguise. It's a disguise.
Yeah,
Um, I don't, but because it's technically her dad. Oh my God, I didn't do enough research. But who she disguised herself as the male of the family, which I think is um,
yeah. Like I think didn't she pretend that she was like she had a brother and she was like the brother, and
yeah,
then her dad didn't have to go because he or something. But
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't seen the live action one because I don't want it to sully anything. I did see like a 10-minute preview or 15-minute preview at when we were at like Hollywood Studios during COVID times and Disney ones. I'm like, I'm not gonna see that movie. That looks terrible. So I've avoided the new live action one, but the animated 1998 Tony Bancroft, Barry Cook, Mulan. Um, yeah, tomboyish girl disguises herself as I should have just read that and I would have been fine with it. Disguises herself as a young man so she can fight with the Imperial Chinese Army against the invading Huns.
Hmm.
The dragon Mushu. Mushu was the best.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just I think the music is just incredible, um, uplifting. Just I don't know. I'm a big fan of Mulan. That is um, my childhood. My uh, what's the member berries? What the hell am I trying to say
Oh
here?
yeah, member berries. Like, is
God,
that what you meant to say?
yeah.
Nostalgia?
Nostalgic. Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
my
yeah,
nostalgic,
yeah.
100%. That new line.
Sorry, I was kind of like reading up on. I was listening, but then I was kind of reading up on Mulan, and then because I did see the 2020 live action, and
What are your thoughts? Talk to me about it.
it's one of the better live action,
Okay.
but I mean that's not saying a lot, right? But it's definitely I enjoyed it. You know, it's its own thing because it's not
Yeah,
there's not really any music like in Mulan. There's no Mushu, right? So
I know.
yeah, you're taking some of the fun out of it, but it's a good movie. It's a good you know, yeah, I enjoyed it
I
for what
also
it was.
love the other disguise. Whenever they're disguising themselves as the the women at the
I was
end.
just thinking, yeah,
I don't know what they are. If they're, I don't want to make any assumptions on what kind of women they are, but that's
kind of
great. You know,
kind of like geishas, I
it's,
guess,
yeah,
right? Is I know that I don't know. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but
yeah, great
so
stuff.
my number four, and each one I've decided that I'm gonna like tell you the disguise first,
Okay,
or a
I
little bit.
like that.
I'm gonna lead you into it. But it has been disproven by many scientists and paleontologists that the T Rex could spot you from a mile away with its binocular vision, exceeding that of modern day eagles and hawks. So, no. When Alan Grant and Lex, when Alan Grant told Lex to stay still, they can't see you if you don't move in Jurassic Park, that is false because he would have eaten them anyways. He would have seen them, even though they stopped moving right in front of him. But it still goes down as my number four greatest disguise, even though they didn't even disguise themselves. All they had
The
to do
failed
was,
disguise.
yes, all they had to do was stand still, apparently, and this giant prehistoric lizard did not eat them because even though it was looking straight at them, uh, and this does come very funny. I'm a huge Jurassic Park nerd, and it does come at a very funny point in the third movie when the group led by Alan Grant, he wasn't in the second one, he was in the third, he was in Jurassic Park 3, and they come across a corpse of a dinosaur, and eating this corpse is a T Rex, and he looks up and he looks down at them, and Alan Grant says, "Nobody move." And all of them run except for Alan Grant, which was to me a very funny movie, a very funny thing, and uh, kind of like making a joke about it all, right? But yeah, so that's my number four. It's not. It's the only one on my list that isn't a disguise.
Yeah, it's a failed disguise. We're trying to
Yes,
disguise ourselves as not being here.
they're
I
trying
think.
to disguise themselves as, I guess, an inanimate object, but like
Yeah,
my thing
it's
is
something not tasty. I'm disguising myself as rancid meat. Do not eat me.
my thing is like we all know animals nowadays and stuff, and if we really think about it, that T Rex probably would have just attempted to try anyways, even though these things just stop moving. What's the worst that's going to happen? You just bite into it. Ew, it's something I don't like.
Yeah, they're at least gonna
But
nudge you with its nose if my dog's taught me anything, you know?
yes. And my whole
Uh,
thing is in that scene when he says, "Don't move," and then the T Rex like breathes on them with his nostrils, and Alan Grant's hat goes flying. To me, that feels like movement, and the T Rex might mistake that. But anyways, Lex and Alan Grant survived, so
I like
we
it.
had more of a movie. So
You mentioned you're a big Jurassic Park, Jurassic fan.
mhm.
How your Jurassic World rankings? How would you give me those? For its World, Fallen Kingdom, and Dominion. Give me your 1 to 3 best to
um,
worst.
I'm probably gonna have to go World, Fallen Kingdom, Dominion. Um, but I also haven't had the guts to watch Dominion since seeing it in the theater.
So you watched it. I just went on Letterbox to see if you've seen it. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
assuming you. Let's see what you thought about it because that's the one. I know that one people like. I thought everyone
yeah.
hated it, and you gave it 3 stars, and then you rated it again. You had 4, and you said some other, almost a year, almost over a year, a little over a year ago. So that's a great Letterbox is. You can tell exactly when you saw
See,
something.
because I saw it twice in theaters, but I
Yeah.
haven't watched it since. So I watched it once and I was all high. I went then 2 days later, I watched it again with some other friends who came down from like Hamilton, and I
Hmm.
watched it again and I was really high on it, and now I'm just really scared to go
What were your
back.
friends thinking? Were they kind of high
They
on
all
it
hated
too?
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that would scare me away from ever watching it again.
Yeah, exactly. Like nobody in my life who has seen it has liked it, and I'm like I think I
Yeah,
just the nostalgia of it all and seeing, Sam Neill and Laura Dern and Jeff Goldblum all
yeah.
back and everything. I think I really kind of got wrapped up in the theater, so that's why I have it on Blu-ray. It is sitting out there.
Well,
Apparently
so
there's
you have
a
a pretty good setup, right? I thought your viewing setup's pretty legit, so it's gonna
yeah,
hit you pretty hard regardless. So,
yeah, yeah.
um,
I will. I will. I'm gonna do it again. Just
see, Blu-ray's great because then you get all the bonus features on there, man. Like, it's
apparently the and then there's it's a longer version, like they added all
okay.
the deleted scenes and stuff, so the it's like a director's cut. So I will and then you'll see my letterboxed ranking of it again.
I hated Fallen Kingdom so much. I just like hated it in the sense of like, all right, I'm not like I. There's like the one scene in the bedroom with the thing with the claw coming down. I'm like, there you go.
Yeah,
I
the
want more of this.
Indoraptor. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, a lot of that felt Spielbergy, right? Like very artistic, like with the claw coming down and everything. It felt some of that end stuff felt like okay, well we're getting into like maybe something that Spielberg would do, but no, Fallen Kingdom was yeah pretty messy as well.
so then I'm like, I'm not even gonna bother with Dominion, especially if people hate Dominion even more than Fallen Kingdom. Like I'm so not on board. Like I like
Yeah,
Jurassic Park enough. Like I didn't see it enough as a kid, so I saw it mainly when I was like 15, 16, like a little older. So I was a little not over it, but I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I get this. Yeah, I've
mhm.
seen like dinosaurs have been a thing in my life. Like it was weird because it's like those were a thing, like a huge thing in like the late '90s and early 2000s, like
Yeah.
with Jurassic Park, with dinosaur, all that stuff. So um,
No,
it was
I was obsessed with dinosaurs. I've got
yeah,
books
it was
and
really
books. Yeah. So, your
I did
number.
not really have binocular vision though. Thank you for teaching me that though.
Hey, that's what I thought. I'd bring a little bit of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. So it says no, this is simply a myth perpetuated by Jurassic Park. T-Rex is now believed to have had binocular vision exceeding that of modern day eagles and hawks. That's what I already said, but doesn't hurt to something you can tell your coworkers tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So
So
my
you're
number three,
oh my gosh,
right?
this is weird doing it the other way. I was
I
gonna say
know, I
that.
feel bad. We can pause and
Oh my
flip flop.
gosh, shut
I
up.
feel
No,
bad
it's fine.
throwing you off. So,
No, no.
my three. I was trying to. I was thinking about if I could do your way of like leading into disguise,
Right,
but
right.
I mean, all she really does is in the book, I guess she gains a little bit of weight. She like has Spanx on, and she takes those off, and she went from like a size 2 to a size 8, and then she cut her hair, kind of bleached it a little bit, kind of fried her tips, got a little sunburn, and that made her into Ozark's Amy, which Gone Girl, Amy Dunn, when she transforms herself. Which I'm spoiling Gone Girl. Sorry, I forgot that this was a big thing in the movie. Golly, but yeah, spoilers for Gone Girl, by the way. It's 9 years old at this point. It's great. You should see it.
Yeah. And you know
It's,
what? In a way, like I understand that's a spoiler, but it's such a great movie, and there's so much a mystery around it and everything that it's hard to say that just that's a spoiler. But
fair,
yes.
fair. And I was just actually watching the not the Blu-ray, but the on iTunes the commentary,
Oh,
and he was David Fincher was talking about they really were stuck with the trailers because they couldn't show anything post her kind of going into that new life, which I'll actually get into in a moment.
post
But
her death.
yes, yes. Okay. Did he or did Nick kill her? Did he not kill her? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they were stuck using like all the first like 54 minutes of footage because he's like, we can't show anything post that. Like it needs to be
Right.
a complete shock and a complete like come on along with us, with the
Yeah.
audience kind of moment. And yeah, so to completely spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but she is driving down the road, and it's the cool girl speech she's giving.
Yeah.
So, and she's eating chips, and she's talking about how she's removing herself, and she's also calling out. My wife pointed this out. She's like calling out all of the other disguises that the women are wearing. Like you're literally like a hipster disguise, like to fool, like to be with the man that she's with, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and yeah, basically, I guess in the book, they like she kind of like gained a little bit more weight, like she was like sweet, she would like slowly, transform herself that way. Like she would wear Spanx at the house, and then when she was like, Ozarks Amy is what they called it. When she was like
Okay.
living in the Ozarks,
Yeah.
um, she she took her Spanx off, gained a couple extra pounds. She kind of cut her hair, bleached it a little bit, um, and try to. I guess they were also really concerned with, the Clark Kent effect of, dude, it's Superman
Yeah.
in glasses. What are you talking about? Like,
Right.
especially after seeing her picture posted all over the news. So they tried to do a good job making Rosamund Pike. She actually like vacillated between. I think she gained like 12 pounds for that specific kind of
Yeah.
those scenes in the movie, and kind of like
Interesting.
moved up in weight a little bit. So yeah,
I would not
Ozarks.
have thought about this one. That's a good one. Yeah.
And that's Aaliyah. She gave me that idea. She goes, "That's a good one."
Oh,
So
good. Oh, fuck, I should have interviewed her then.
I know. Well, that's what she said. She goes, "I should be on this." I'm like, "You should."
That's funny. Does she listen at all to the Film Vault?
No, she doesn't.
No.
She's just she reads books, listens to books, and then I will make her watch whatever movies I think she will tolerate. We've been together a little over 10 years now.
Wow, too
Yeah,
long.
it'll be 11 in December.
Oh,
So
congratulations.
I have, thank you. I have slowly realized the kinds of movies I can make her watch, and then she will enjoy. Like at the end of it, she'll enjoy. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
she loved Departed. Like it'll
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah.
And then I get that going, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I forgot how the Departed ends because it's kind of a complete bummer. And then she will be so upset. She's like, oh, this movie sucks. I hate you for making me watch it. So
Huh.
I've slowly massaged that out a little bit, like Seven. I'm like, oh, she'll love Seven. She loves Brad Pitt, David Fincher. I'm like, oh my
Oh my
god,
god.
like literally as they're driving out to the desert, I'm like, oh my god,
Mm-hmm. You're
oh
like,
god.
fuck. She's gonna
I'm like,
hate this now.
that's how the movie ends.
Especially
Shit.
when she's so into it.
I
That's
know. Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah.
Oh my
So
god.
yeah, there's a couple of I, I I'm slowly getting out of that kind of phase, but I mean,
No,
she's like,
I
I like to feel good at the end of my movies. Like fair. That is a fair thing to want.
fair, but I think that's what separates kind of movie lovers from non-movie lovers, right? I've I've had multiple friends who just kind of like, if the movie doesn't end the way they want it to end,
Yeah,
they're mad, and it's like, well, that's also life, right? Things don't go the way you want them to go, and you can't just hate something because. Anyways, I'm getting too deep anyway, but
no, yeah, I had a friend like that too. Is like halfway in, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I know what's gonna happen." It was like X, Y, and Z. That's happening. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, why are you, why are you trying to? This isn't a puzzle movie. Like,
yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
this isn't Nope, where you're like kind of always like, all right, what's happening here? Like, what's the next? Which I also thought Nope was awesome, and I think they didn't like. Did you see Nope? Or you
I
thoughts on
like
Nope?
I like Nope. I didn't like Us. I like Nope a lot
Yeah.
more than Us.
I want to rewatch Us because I mean I after I saw it once in the theaters, I'm like, so like yeah, I mean I was laughing
Yeah.
throughout most of it, and then I was kind of freaked out, and then I was like freaked
Hmm.
out, and then I laughed, which
Yeah.
I don't know if that was on purpose, but I'm like
Mm.
I was laughing, so I
I
don't know.
just I just couldn't buy into it. It was just
Yeah,
too grandiose, like too
yeah,
big for me, and I just couldn't buy into the whole
yeah.
idea.
But
But I get it.
yeah.
But
I love the home invasion in the beginning, like the first
yes,
two.
yes,
Those are so that's incredible. And I'm
of
like, why
course,
haven't I watched this
yes.
movie again? I'm like, oh yeah, because there's like another 45 minutes of really weird shit that I don't think I like. So
Probably one of the better home invasions I've ever seen. Elizabeth Moth, that she's the mom in that home invasion scene. It's just great.
yeah, she's great.
But so my number three,
You're
yeah,
number
three.
three. And after this, we'll flip flop, so it's back to
No, no, no.
you don't
All
need to do
right.
an ad break. You sure you don't need to do a BMD's ad break or anything?
MeUndies. I don't get paid for this shit. So no. So no. The only break I needed was to go pee because I had a couple beers on the train and then I decided to sit and have another one with you and not that you're having one, but
No,
I
no, I had my fun earlier, so it's good.
anyways, my disguise. The disguise is disguising a girl named Lena Klamer. Lena Klamer is the main character and the antagonist in a movie better known as Esther
Hmm.
in the movie The Orphan.
Okay, yeah, okay.
The
God
horror
dang.
movie The Orphan. Esther is, and in order for me to kind of talk about the disguise, I do have to spoil the movie. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. I did. Oh,
So I will not spoil it then.
let's see. This
Um,
is what.
what's
Which
that?
one is this? I'm trying to pull up. Which one is this? The Orphan.
The Orphan, yes. Or
What
no,
year?
it's 2009, The Orphan, yeah.
Orphan. Okay.
Okay, well then I won't spoil it. That's fine. That's totally fine. I don't mind not spoiling it because um let's just say that Esther is disguising herself as somebody else.
Oh, wait. Okay. I do know. I think I know what you're talking about. You can spoil this because I know. I think I might know the disguise you're talking about. But this is a good one because
Yes, it
didn't
is.
they do not a remake, but a sequel to this
They
recently?
did they did a prequel,
A prequel.
which the movie works really well in the frame of the story, and it's not
Hmm.
the prequel isn't bad. If you liked the original The Orphan, you will probably like this one. The prequel. Excuse me,
Okay.
but Isabel Furman, she plays this quote unquote young girl, and that's all I'm gonna say, actually,
Oh
because
God.
because
No,
that's
I feel
good.
terrible. Well, now I really
No,
want to watch it,
you
but
should
I
like
know.
it's not really scary if you and your wife don't really love horror. Like this is a good one if you guys were like, let's watch a horror movie. This would be a good one to throw on because it's not like scary. It's not like violent or gruesome. It's like a kind of a mystery with like, like a little bit of creepy things. It's a fun one to throw on, I think.
Yeah.
The wife might actually not hate you at the end, and it's got Vera Farmiga in it, and I love her. So
Yeah, she's incredible.
she plays the
I like
mom. So.
so I know the reason I was interested in this is because of the director. He did, which I loathed Black. I thought it was so. That was like that is I Black Adam got my Blue Beetle reaction that you have.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Whereas like this is just like there's like three redeeming things like scenes in it. It's like when he first comes up and is like just killing people with like sheer power. Like
Yes.
that's cool. Like keep doing
Yes.
this.
I agree.
Um,
Yeah.
and like then that ended like 5 minutes later, and it's like nothing but like I'm like, all right, cool. Like now we're back to 2005 superheroes. Like we don't know what we're
Yes.
doing, kind of things. But did that in Jungle Cruise, which I didn't like either. I was like, oh yeah, they'll be charming, and it ugh.
No,
But
I
I was
didn't
like,
like that
yeah,
one.
this guy keeps getting money to make movies, so
He
I
does.
should like him. Or I should see his his first couple. Oh, he did House of Wax. Oh my god,
Have you seen
I
The
love.
Shallows that he did?
I didn't know. I know that's the one that I would probably like
Yeah.
because it's. I love the concept. Love the high concept. Hey, girls on a beach, shark over there.
Yeah.
Blake Lively, be charming,
Yeah.
be scary.
It's very much like All Is Lost or
Okay.
so like that.
I did see. I loved House of Wax when I was like.
Me too.
That was one. That was
It was
one of the rated R movies. It was like on like TNT, not TNT, but one of those late at night. It's like, oh my
yeah.
god, did you see it's got boobs in it? It's like, kids
Yeah,
need
it
to
was one
grow.
of the first horror movies where I like kind of watched. I used to be terrified of horror movies and now I can't get enough of them. So,
I would say that's your bag, man. You're nothing
yeah,
but random horror movies. I'm
I
like,
know.
why would? Oh god.
Hey, my 1 and 2 aren't horror. Come on, give
No,
me
no,
your
no, 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 not this list. Your letterbox is great. I
I
love
know.
it. So
No,
I'm
I
like,
know.
what is this movie? And I'm
I
like,
get
this
it.
is incredible. Like this, the premise is incredible. Like, how have I not seen this?
I always say like whenever I'm chatting with Florence at the watch alongs, I always say, Florence, will you be my horror queen and I'll be your horror king? And she always says yes. So it warms the cockles of my heart. All right,
Nice.
you're number 2.
My number two is, and this is kind of a lame, like a non-disguised disguise, kind of like I'm not saying yours is lame, but it's a non-disguise. It is Scarlett Johansson being Scarlett Johansson in Under the Skin.
Shut up. This
Is
was
that
almost on my
okay?
list because this is one of my favorite movies.
Okay, I thought yeah I just caught up with this recently too,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
and I it's so good. Adored
It's
that. The
so
score is incredible. Um, she it she is so mysterious and so
so good.
interesting,
So good.
and she is completely she sucked away all charm not sucked away all like Scarlett Johansson charm and charisma, where
Mm-hmm.
you're left with something else, and you're like, I don't like it. It's a very good performance
Yeah.
with when there's not a lot that she's doing,
So
which
there's
like
not no.
because she's not dull, she isn't boring. I'm
Yeah.
not watching her like do something, please, like say anything. I'm like still enthralled at her just
Yes.
barely
That's
moving her face.
the allure of Scarlett Johansson
Yeah,
works with the acting. Like she's proving that she can be a good actor when it's basically just her being kind of boring in a way because that's what the role asks of her to be just like stone face kind of but almost like a robot
yeah.
and I guess this is another one we shouldn't give away. I don't know.
mean, I don't. There's not. I mean, there's nothing to give away in this
There
movie. Like,
isn't.
she's this weird alien entity that
Yeah.
is. is
That's a
Scarlett Johansson, and she lures men into buildings, and they
yeah,
fall into weird goo,
yeah.
and then they float away in like little paper bags, and they explode, and it's so gross and weird. Do you remember
Yeah,
what I'm talking?
I
It's
do. I
horrible.
do.
It's so good. It's incredible.
Uh,
It's transfixed the whole time.
there's a scene on a beach in this movie that I will
That is a
never forget.
do not like that
Um,
scene.
yeah,
I will not spoil that scene because that scene
yeah,
makes me mad.
it does.
So
There's a scene. There's a whole scene with a man with a disfigured face that I'll never
yeah.
forget.
Oh, that's great. Oh my God.
That's
Yeah,
this
she doesn't
movie.
understand, and she doesn't get why he was like. He's like,
Yeah, the way
like,
he's
why
acting.
is? Yeah, it's very,
Oh,
very good.
so good, man. I'm so happy you have your list is making me so happy. Um, okay, my number two is a character born on the planet UBA 5. His name is his name is Bush. Boushh. He is a UBESE male, and he is a bounty hunter in Return of the Jedi. But in Return of the Jedi, there is a certain princess who I don't know how it happens, but like kills Boushh and puts his uniform on, and Princess Leia is disguised as Boushh in Return of the Jedi and infiltrates Jabba's palace to free Han Solo, who is in Carbonite. And yeah, that is my number two. I just love that scene. I love everything about it. I love Carrie Fisher. I love Leia. I love her working with Chewie and infiltrating and coming in and this other, you don't think it's her. Like you're like, who is this person? You're thinking it's some new character, and then it's Leia, right? It's just
Yeah,
perfect.
it's this helmet, right? It's oh God,
Yep.
that
Yep.
yes,
Yeah.
okay. That's
So
all.
really well done helmet. Like you really are thinking, who is this?
Yeah, you get this weird creature. Like, is this
Yep.
a mouse down there? Are those their eyes?
Yeah.
Who? What is this? Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's one I definitely had to put on there. Uh yeah, Boosh. Boushha. Boush or Boosh.
Yeah,
Anyways,
that's a
uh
that's a good one. And out of all the Star Wars disguises, too, that is a deep pull because
yeah, I don't know. That's the only one on my list that like came to me. I was like like I not that I the other ones I was just like looking through my movies on Letterboxd saying, "Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one." No, this one was immediately in my head for some reason. So it just needed to be on the list. And
you can get a Boosh helmet Lego set for only
oh,
69.99.
oh, 69. Um
I was
I
gonna say
had
this episode now brought to you by Legos, but I don't think they want that endorsement afterwards. So.
yeah, I had the Boosh Leia as Boosh Funko for a while, so maybe that's why it
Ooh,
popped right into my head. But
it's a
yeah,
good one. Do you still have it, or did you sell that?
I think I still have it, but they're all out there. It's fine. The only one I have in here, the only Star Wars I have in here is actually that's a lie. I have a lot of Star Wars, but this is my newest one.
Is that Jar Jar Binks with his tongue out, giving you a
Yeah,
thumbs up?
yeah,
What
yeah.
kind of is that from a convention or?
Yeah, I just saw it. It was cheap price, and it's gone up in price quite a bit since then, so I had to grab it. Um and as much I hate Jar Jar, but I love Jar Jar.
Say, where do you land on the prequels? What are your thoughts? Because you were prime prequel age. I mean, what,
Yeah,
eight,
I
nine?
was. Yeah, you're 100% right. I grew up loving them, and I have done a rewatch as a movie fan, and the first one has its good moments, but also sucks.
So
Uh,
boring.
yeah.
Why
But
are
I
they
do.
boring?
Yeah,
Like,
I know. Why are they boring? Exactly.
I don't know.
Because I'm trying to get my way through the Clone Wars right now, the
Mm.
TV
The TV
show.
show? Okay.
Yeah.
I want to get
So
into
it's it's a hard watch. It's slow
that.
going for me. It's not like I'm saying like at times it's like why I don't know. They're dragging it on, right? And you're like
Mhm.
anyways, I don't need to bore people with that. What's your number 2
Two.
or your
Is it
number
number
1?
two? Number one, yeah. Hey,
Oh
I
my
threw you
god.
off. My number one. All right. I'm trying to do your whole bit. All right. So he's a jazz saxophonist. He's
Okay.
an impulsive ladies' man.
Soul.
No. And then he's got an anxious friend who is a jazz double bass player. I almost said bass because I'm a moron. But they work at a speakeasy, and then they tipped off an informant, and now they've got to go undercover. Or I think they see their witnesses. I believe. Oh my gosh, yes. So I think they're witnesses in the crime of the mob, and they got to go undercover in an all ladies band. So they dress up as I believe it is and Josephine and Daphne. Some Like It Hot. Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon. It's
Oh
Josephine
my
and
god.
Daphne.
I thought you were gonna say fucking White Chicks. I hate that movie.
Oh no. My wife loves that movie. That would have been her list would have been White Chicks, She's the Man, Gone Girl,
She's
something
the
like
man. I would have accepted She's the Man. I like that one.
that.
No,
But
this
no,
is
yeah, Some Like It Hot,
yeah.
incredible. They are, and I say incredible because I just watched this maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and I'm like, God, man, this is gonna be tough. This will be a tough watch. It's two dudes pretending to be ladies in the '50s, set in the '20s, and they got Marilyn Monroe as a sex object. Like this is gonna be a little funky, and it really isn't. It holds
No,
up in the sense
it
where they
does.
are. They're not playing up any like negative stereotypes or real negative aspects. It's just really sharp, really funny.
Yep.
Marilyn Monroe is incredible in that.
Yep.
I was reading someone's review. I can't remember who it was, but they were saying how like her dress is almost pushing her boobs out of her body to say, "Hey, look at
Yeah.
them, they're here." But she is so oblivious that she's a sex object in any way. Like in that
Yeah.
movie, it's like her complete naivete in that. I'm like, yeah, that's how it works because she could play that off and
Yeah.
just have everyone drooling over her,
Yeah.
and it works. And they are great as Daphne and Josephine.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, because they have to join the band, and then I think there's a couple scenes with them kind of hopping back and forth on the beach. Terrible research on my end for my number one, but
No.
I love it.
No. This is a great pick. It actually does come up. It comes up on our listener list in a little bit here.
Okay.
But great pick. I have it in my also Rans. I just
I think he
watched this.
also there's like a second disguise. He's like pretends to be a millionaire at some point. Um, I think he's like
Yes,
he
because
works for Shell or some oil company.
yes, because he wants to try to date Marilyn,
Oh yeah,
right? Like
he's
Marilyn's
trying to get
character,
sugar.
and
Yeah. He's
yeah,
trying to woo sugar. Her whole thing is she's attracted to nothing but jazz saxophonists, and she's never
yes,
going to date another one.
yeah.
So
No, this is a really good one. I watched this in another Marilyn movie before. I watched Blonde because I had no real knowledge of Marilyn, right, in film. So I wanted to watch something before I watched Blonde, which was not good, but whatever. Some Like It Hot was really good, really great. All the actors, the whole thing. It's a great movie, really good comedy, like a comedy we don't get anymore. So no, really good choice. Really good choice. So My number
Yeah.
one, uh, his name is Edgar.
Okay, I know
Uh,
this.
and Edgar is well, Edgar's dead. And he is being animated by a giant bug. Edgar the Bug is his full name. He is an alien, comes from a planet called Hive World, and he is there in the Men in Black movie, the first Men in Black movie to take over the world. Edgar is played in human form by a great performance from Vincent D'Onofrio. Really fun. What they do with the effects and the practical effects to do stuff with his face and make him look all messed up, and he's cracking his jaw, and he's not like he's a bug in
What
his
weird, he's got the weird gait.
and there's bugs coming out of his clothes and stuff. It's just
He's so scummy. He's the epitome of
so
scum.
yes, so gross. But this is a lot of fun. And obviously, if you've seen Men in Black, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So,
Yeah, I need to rewatch Men in Black. It's been a while. I
mhm,
want to do the whole series,
yeah,
the whole one, two, and three. But yeah, that's a good pick. I think it was on one of their lists or original lists, or can't remember, but
it
that's a
might have
good one.
been. It might. I know it's come up on a list, and I know they've talked about Edgar and Vincent D'Onofrio. And you know what? This I saw Men in Black on my list of movies, and I just said, "Yep, that is 100% got to be
Oh
on
yeah,
there because it's so great."
yeah.
Um,
It is a perfect. Oh man, and that's look at the tagline of the movie: "Protecting the Earth from the scum of the universe." Look at
oh,
that.
there you go, and you came up with the word scum. Yeah,
They crushed it. They nailed it.
do you have any also Rands?
I think I sprinkled them in throughout, but let's see. Oh, Good Time. That was almost on there, but the disguise felt weak. There's two disguises. The first one, him and his brother robbing the bank, but it also feels
Yep,
more of like just mask. But they're disguised like garbage men. They have like
yep,
the weird facial thing.
yeah,
And then whenever he's dyeing his hair blonde,
yeah.
after he's like kind of made out with the 13-year-old girl to
Oh,
get access to that. So
so
God,
weird. Yeah,
so awful. But I love his again. That's not really disguise, but he's like disguising himself. Anyone but himself is who he was. So
yeah, yeah.
that was and yeah, she's the man. Obviously, one of them.
Good
Incredible.
one. Good
Amanda
one.
Bynes rules. Oh, 21 Jump Street.
Yep,
Those are
yep,
fun.
yep.
Those are barely disguises though, because they're just playing themselves. But I saw that in some lists.
Uh,
What about you?
I got a few. Like, and most of these were on the list at some point. So just stick with me here. Drax standing still. I almost had two just people standing still. But Drax when he's eating the nuts and he's
Yeah,
watching Gamora and Chris Pratt's character talk. Um, One that always pissed me off in the movies, but Frodo and Sam when they hide under a rock, which is really just Sam's cape. All of a sudden, Sam has like this blanket or this cape, and he throws it over them. And maybe it's only in the deleted scenes, but um, the guard would have clearly seen them. It just this the scene pissed me
how
off.
early on? What movie is that? Is it the first one or second or third?
Third one, third
Third
one.
one. Is
Yeah.
that where in the journey are we? I'm trying to think, trying to remember the scene.
It could be the second one. I'm sorry, but they're walking and then
As they're
Frodo
walking,
they're walking. Do you remember that time they're walking?
I do,
Um
I do.
no, but Frodo starts to slip down this hill. They're near the
Okay,
gates of
yeah, yeah.
Mordor, and he starts to slip down this hill and Sam follows him, and then a
Mhm.
guard, you see from the guard point of view and he sees
Yeah, I
it's
know what you're talking about.
yeah,
You know
it's
what? We watched this recently. And I think we
Do you
watched
remember?
the extended scene. The it's like three something hours per movie.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's like right after they fall down the hill, because
yeah,
the problem is, and it's the problem more is just staging. Because if they just stage the guy either like a little further or what, it just like it almost looks like it's in his line of sight.
exactly, exactly.
Like,
The
yeah, don't
blocking was
yes,
wrong for that whole scene because the people are walking like this and they're falling down the
yeah.
hill like this. The guy turns, they would have been right there.
Yeah,
Go
I mean, I
watch the
guess
scene
they're wearing
again.
helmets. Maybe the helmets, peripheral vision. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Why do they
I think,
give bad guys helmets? Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. That's a good one.
Um,
It's a good
Harry and
anti-disguise, you know.
yes, Harry and Ron as Crabbe and Goyle, and then obviously Hermione as the cat.
That was
Um,
gonna be mine. Hermione is the cat, but then I'm like, well, she's not disguised as anything because she failed.
yeah,
It was like a fail. I was like,
yeah.
we're overthinking this clearly. But
And then yeah, I have written down here King Shark with the finger mustache.
I'm sure, yeah, good
Shaun of
one.
the Dead, where they're pretending to be zombies. I almost put on the Invisible Man, just the suit.
Hmm.
And then obviously how it plays into the final scene.
You're a big invisible guy as a disguise because that's three. There's Drax being invisible.
Yes.
The yeah, Jurassic Park, you're not moving. That's invisible, right?
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
boom, that's an invisible suit.
Yeah, exactly. And not much of a
That's a good
disguise.
one.
It's more we could do top five invisible people. Um, Robert Downey Jr. as the black guy in Tropic Thunder. I didn't get the
Yeah.
names because I didn't put a Dutch in Predator when he's covered in mud, disguising himself
Mm.
from the Predator. The Grinch as Santa Claus. And then I almost did the.
Oh my
This
gosh,
was
how do I have the Grinch as Santa Claus? That's incredible. That's the best
yeah,
one.
I know. I almost did a tricky one and did in the first Saw movie when the dead guy when he
Mhm.
pretends to be dead the whole movie. Have you seen Saw? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Skin I Live
Not yeah,
in.
not Lee Wanell, the other guy. Because Lee Wanell is the guy.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I'm talking
director
about
of Invisible Man. He's
Richard
pointing at
Kramer,
theme.
yeah. Kramer, right?
I think so. Is he's the other guy in the cell.
Yeah, Jigsaw.
Yeah.
And he pretends to be dead basically for the whole movie, and then at the end he gets up. Yeah, and that is. Oh, and the other one I had was Mystique.
Yeah. Oh,
In X Men.
that's the one where I was like,
Yeah,
that's the one that I didn't write down. So I'm like, oh yeah, Mystique. It's like boom, just slap her on at five. You
yeah.
know, but
There
only
was
which
five or
one though?
six. I was gonna
Mhm.
say Mystique as Striker when she pretends to be Striker in the first or this. No, that's this X2, I think.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so but Rebecca Romaine, that
Yeah,
Mystique.
yeah,
Okay.
Rebecca Roman. Yeah, 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 for sure. I mean, Jennifer Lawrence did what she could, but like there was such a huge cast, she just didn't get her due, you know?
Well, yeah, we just rewatched those, and
Hmm.
it is so clear how in First Class everyone is on board and everyone is having fun
Yep.
because it's like
Great movie.
they're all popping. Everyone's popping at the same
Yeah.
time. You got Fassbender in there, you got McAvoy, and she's popping. And then because she just won for the Bleak movie in the Ozarks,
Silver. Oh, she was
whatever that
nominated for
was.
Winterbone. Yeah,
Yeah,
Winter's
yeah,
Bone.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then like the quality of everything is solid, and then the next one it's like okay, still like Days of Future Past. It's all about her, and that's like the plot's a lot of fun, and then
Yeah.
like they all just stopped caring.
Yeah, they
They all Michael Fassbender never
did.
stopped caring because he was
Just
acting his ass off,
I was
but
just gonna
yeah,
say, Fassbender never stopped caring. That man acted his
yeah,
balls off in what's the third one? The
yeah. Oh, God, Jesus Christ, I just watched this too. Not Dark Phoenix. It is
Yeah, it would have been Dark Phoenix, wouldn't have been.
no. It's the Sand. It's not. Oh my God. It's the one with Oscar Isaac, and he plays Apocalypse, X Men Apocalypse.
Is that okay?
Right?
Well, yes, yes,
Yes.
but Fassbender acts his balls off in
Yeah,
that
his
movie.
wife and kid die or whatever.
Yes,
No spoiler,
they
but
go
yeah.
into that backstory and everything, and like that movie gets
Yeah.
3 stars for me, like just because of all that storyline and what Fassbender does in that. Because I'm like, he proves himself to be one of our greatest actors in one of the worst X-Men movies, and I'm just like, I was like,
Hats
fuck,
off to you, buddy. Good job.
yeah,
And now he's got a fun year coming out with The Killer or what the
yes,
Fincher movie, and then Taika's movie. I don't know if I have yet to turn the tide on Taika. I'm still a fan. I thought Thor: Love and Thunder was fine.
oh well,
I was like,
it's
eh.
okay to be wrong,
Well, I don't. Again, I think it was fine, and I
yeah,
think in the sense of it was fine. I was like, okay, if he had the movie that he wanted to make, I'm sure this would be incredible. Like if
yeah,
this was a 2.5, 3 hour, whatever that he
yeah.
wanted, but uh, I'm sure he needed to. I don't know. There's so much. Like
Bale was
there's so
in a
much.
different movie,
Yes. Well, yeah. Yeah,
and I
exactly. And
and I
when
think in
we talk
a
about that movie, it's a fun movie. Like, yes, this guy's creepy.
but in a 2.5, 3 hour movie, I think Taika could have made that work
That's
because
what,
I
yeah, exactly.
love,
You cut out so much
um,
of his craziness, like
yeah,
so much of his like dark, like there's like scenes where like, yeah, he went like a little overboard. Like, give me those. I want to
yeah.
watch that. I don't
What
want to
was
watch him
the
like doing the split with like I don't want to see any of that dumb. I don't care about that.
yeah? I love Jojo Rabbit, so and I love the first Thor, so I will forgive Taika for sure. I didn't love Thor: Love and Thunder, but it had its good parts and it had its funny moments. But I definitely think Taika's got a lot more in him. So
It's one of those things where I've rewatched, and we've done like MCU rewatches,
me
and
too.
I've probably seen them like 3 or 4 times. But I also have
Yeah,
zero interest in watching anything, rewatching anything post Endgame right now. And
yeah, yeah. I
it's
know.
even the new the latest Spider-Man, not the animated,
Yeah,
the latest
it's
Tom Holland one. Like in
yeah,
theaters, man, that was just a blast. I was like, oh
but then
yeah,
it kind
movies are
of
back. Let's go. But yeah,
yeah,
now but the actual plot of the movie is so dumb. I can't do it. Like it's
yeah,
impossible.
yeah. So listener list. And while I'm doing listener list, think of the movie you're gonna assign me if you get to assign me a movie. Um, Jeff Hancock says Muppet Man from Jason Segel's The Muppets. I almost put that on my list. That is very funny. Clown from Hell from Spawn says Stuart Manny. Eric Holmes says Bane in Batman and Robin, and Raphael in TMN Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Kevin Heach, John Malkovich in The Line of Fire. Peter Beta's got a few here. The entire Mission Impossible franchise, which you already, Mr. Alex already said that. Whoopi in the Sister Act. Gary as a terrorist in Team America. Jack Lemmon in Some Like It Hot. And there's 2 from your list from Peter Beta. And then the Joker as a nurse in The Dark Knight.
Mm.
And then Craig Sherburne says the T-1000 whenever he transforms. Another Mission Impossible, Matthew Cheatham says, I'm going to go with the final mask reveal scene in the original Mission Impossible when Ethan is masked as John Voight's character in the train car, surprising his wife that he's not dead. So Stefan Vaniel, Leo on the back of the horse in The Revenant surprised me. I don't recall that moment, but
It's probably this guy's gonna be a dead guy. I'm assuming.
yeah, I haven't seen that movie since theaters. So
Yeah, me neither.
David Vin,
I know I liked it, so I don't want to go back and be bored now.
right? And then David Vincola says Fletch, They Live, Some Like It Hot. That's the third Some Like It
Oh, they
Hot.
live.
So
That's a good
yes. And Einhorn slash Finkel and the Rhino from Ace Ventura Pet Detective.
If
So yeah.
anyone wants to watch They Live, I'm pretty sure it's got an anniversary coming up, like in a couple of
Oh,
weeks.
does it?
Yeah, like they're
Hopefully.
doing a repertory screening of it in like AMC's or something.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Because
they just.
they're doing that like the 20th anniversary of
Okay.
Old Boy is now.
I was
It's
just
this
gonna say
weekend,
they're
and
doing that right now.
then I was gonna watch that. I was trying to squeeze it in this weekend, and I just couldn't. September 3rd is when that's coming
Okay.
to AMC's. They
Okay.
live.
And then on Instagram here, just before Dr. Milne, Dr. underscore Milne on Instagram says Kevin Spacey as the journalist in disguise in Seven, and Jake Giddy's Hat in Chinatown. Michael Caine as Doppel in Sleuth, and Jude Law in Other Sleuth. So must be two different movies named Sleuth, I guess.
I
But
guess
yeah.
so.
So thank you everyone for giving me a couple. Definitely my role as man cleaning house for the first 10 minutes after my wife pulls in the driveway. Says Matt Schlentz. Distant second is Inglorious Bastards when everyone pretending to be Italian. And oh my gosh, yes, when Brad Pitt's like Buongiorno. That's great. That's really great. Oh, and David Gulick with the two kids from Little Rascals. That is great. And they're pretending to be like Amish dudes.
Hmm.
Uh,
Oh yes, God. Oh my God,
That's a blast from
that
the
should have been
past.
like number one for me. I've
That's
probably seen
hilarious.
that scene 1,000
Me
times.
too.
That
All right.
movie is awesome. I don't care
So
what anybody says.
what do you want to assign me?
Man, I was thumbing through.
Uh-huh.
I
You don't
don't
have to do it now. You can also text me later.
might do that. So
Okay.
you didn't like Decision to Leave, their most recent Park Chan-wook movie.
It didn't work for me,
How
unfortunately.
many other parks have you seen? Have you seen many others? Have you seen old? I'm assuming Old Boy you've seen.
Yeah, I've seen Old Boy. I've seen. Is that it? Because well,
Have you seen The Handmaiden?
no, I haven't seen The Handmaiden.
Okay.
Okay.
You might need to watch The Handmaiden. There's JSA is another one. Okay, either The Handmaiden or JSA.
What's
It's
JSA?
a joint security area. That's his first. It's not his first movie, but it is
Okay.
his first kind of mainstream big one. Um, and it's very it is I think at like the border of North and South Korea. There's like a
Okay.
killing that happens. It's very Hitchcockian. You know, it's very
Oh.
he's it's his whole bit is aping Hitchcock, which um, I think obviously with Decision to Leave, it's very kind of um, Hitchcockian in some ways that I don't really quite understand probably, but it is JSA is pretty good, but
Okay.
it might be that. So, and it's
Okay.
shorter too. I was gonna say Handmaiden's long. It's like 2.5 hours. I don't want to kill you. So
Well, that's fine. You just let me know, and people will find out on the next episode because I will review it before I get to my guest on the next episode. So just shoot me a text. Where can people find you, Alex, if you want people to find you on like Twitter or X or whatever?
I think my Twitter handle is asimprocky, like the rapper ASAP Rocky, but my name ASIMP.
That's
Um,
awesome.
that's basically it. I mean, I don't tweet or anything. I scroll there for movie
Yeah.
content and football content during the fall. So
Yeah, yeah. No, just like my co-host over at the Hollywood Persona, he's got his Twitter basically for football, and that's about it. So,
yeah,
all
I'm
right.
very excited to be back in the football season.
Yes.
Summer was all movies. It was incredible. I was nothing but movie podcasts, just crushing movies, and now
Do
it
you
will
listen to
slowly
football
move back.
podcasts?
No, I don't.
No. Okay. I didn't know if like
I
that was a
tried, but I'm like, I
yeah,
don't. Yeah, and that's the problem now is a lot of the movies that I'm watching. I'm like, well, what kind of shows do I have that talk about this movie like in
yeah,
detail? Like, so now I'm almost curating things based on like podcasts. Like that's it's a whole thing. But
yeah. As always, my all my links will be down in the show notes. You can go to my Linktree, which is Linktree / the Film Vultures, and you will find all the ways to follow me. But I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and listen to the Film Vault, 2 episodes a week. You can find them anywhere. I want to thank my guest, Alex. Thank you so much. You know what? We have been recording for an hour and 45 minutes, but we've been talking for over 2 hours. This has been a lot of fun. I hope your wife doesn't kill me for keeping you this long, but
No,
that was
thank you.
great.
This was great. Talking movies is, that's the reason I listen to podcasts, so I can hear people
Exactly.
talk about movies. So it's great to
Yeah.
do that with someone else. And I smelled food like 25 minutes ago, so I guess she decided to cook herself dinner, which is great. So it's great.
So hopefully she cooked you something too then.
Maybe I don't know. I'm not holding hope, but
That's great. All right. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I will see you again in 2 weeks for another episode. And Alex, who do we do it for?
Van Gogh apparently.
Perfect. Uh,
It was fun, man.